Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. So today I'm back with one more problem that is related with intervals, and it is the problem which is there in lead code blind 75 SD sheet. So let's jump to the problem statement. So the name of the problem is, first of all, the name of the problem is merge intervals, right? And now let's see what the problem says. So basically we have been given an array of intervals where each interval is represented as start I and end I, right? Our goal is to merge all overlapping intervals, and we have to return a new array of non-overlapping intervals that cover all the given intervals. Okay. So let us see through the example which I have taken from lead code. So you all can also visit that. Basically in input intervals we have this list of items, list basically array 1 comma 3 2 comma 6 8 comma 10 15 comma 18, and in output we are getting 1 comma 6 8 comma 10 15 comma 18, right? So basically if we try to think about the what is happening in the example one, basically the in explanation part, let's see the interval 1 comma 3 which is overlapping with 2 comma 6, right? So we merge them into 1 comma 6, right? So what happens is basically afterwards we can see the intervals 8 comma 10 and 15 comma 18 do not overlap, so they remain unchanged. So we can see in the output as well. So what is getting changed is basically the we see 1 comma 3 overlaps with 2 comma 6, right? So what we did basically, we basically changed the starting value, that was earlier 1 comma 3 and 2 comma 6. So what we changed is basically we took one from here, that is the starting, and 6 from the here, that is ending. So we merged them into 1 comma 6, right? Similarly in example 2 we have intervals 1 comma 4 and 4 comma 5. So we can see that these two are overlapping, so we can take the first starting value from this here and ending value that from here ending. So we can conclude it like 1 comma the 1 comma 4 overlaps with 1 comma 4 comma 5. So completely we can say that we can merge it into 1 comma 5. Okay. So brute force approach for this solution is, first of all, what for this question is basically it's quite simple. Like we will compare every interval with every other interval to check for the overlaps, right? If we are encountering like if two intervals overlapping with each other, we can merge them. Okay. So how it's happening, like after merging them we can repeat this process until the time we are not getting any merging, we cannot get any merging is possible. Okay. So algorithm is basically simple. We will use two nested loops and we will check if any two intervals overlap. If they do, we will simply merge them, and we have to repeat this until no more merges are possible. So basically we are using two nested loops. So obviously time complexity, like we repeatedly check all intervals against each other. So the worst case time complexity will be O of n square, right? And the space complexity will be O of n in the worst case if we store all the intervals separately. So we can think of this like O of n square is not a great solution. So we will be thinking in a much better manner. What we can do is basically we have to think something optimal. So we will make the intuition for optimal solution, right? So we will sort what we have to do, first of all, like in optimal solution, what we can do, we can sort the intervals based on their starting values, right? After that, what we can do is basically in a single pass, we will use a single pass to merge overlapping intervals efficiently. So algorithm, what the algorithm says, let's see, it's simple, nothing too complex. We simply need to sort the given intervals based on their starting value. Then we have to initialize an empty list, merged, and insert the first interval, right? Then we have to traverse through the intervals. If the current interval overlaps with the last merged interval, what we can do is basically we have to merge them. Otherwise, we have to add the current interval as a new entry. Then we have to return the merged list. Time complexity for this will be like O of n log n due to sorting method, right? So O of n for merging, and so total time complexity will be O of n log n. Space will be not getting hindered, like it will be same as earlier, like O of n is in the worst case when no intervals merge, right? So what we can think of, like after that, if we talk about the that case, basically the code part, right? So code basically we have been given a function merge vector of vector. First thing is we have to sort the intervals based on the starting value that I already discussed with you all. So this is the sort function. After that we have to create a vector merged, so that to store the merged intervals. Step 2 is basically we have to iterate through each interval, right? Like for auto and intervals, this is the code for if and we have inside the for loop we have to also take care of one condition, that is if merged list is empty or no overlap, we have to add it in the intervals, right? Then what will happen in the else part, that is overlapping intervals, we will merge by updating the last intervals end time, right? After that we have to return the list of merged intervals. So this was the code. It was a quite simple code, I would say. Let me open the, yeah, that was simple code. Basically I told you the complexity and everything. I will share the code in the GitHub repo, so no need to worry about that part. And apart from that, if you guys need a dry run of it, so I have also did the dry run. So input we can do, we can take this example. We have 1 comma 3, 2 comma 6, 8 comma 10, 15 comma 18. So what we are doing is basically we are sorting the intervals, that is 1 comma 3 in the on the basis of their starting values. 1 comma 3, then 2 comma 6, then 8 comma 10, then 15 comma 18. Then in processing, like 1 comma 3 we have to add to the merged, right? Then 2 comma 6 basically overlaps with 1 comma 3, we will merge to 1 comma 6, right? 8 comma 10 will not overlap, we will simply add it into the results 8 comma 10. Similarly 15 comma 18 no overlap, we will add to the final result. So the final output which we will getting is basically 1 comma 6, 8 comma 10 and 15 comma 18. So this was all about this solution and approach. If you guys understood the solution, please hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. And one more thing, you all can, if you understood the solution and you like the solution, please share it with other students as well. Thank you.